There's a concept introduced by a chap called Bob Kirk some decades ago called the philosophical zombie. And he imagines somebody who just has a brain just like you and I, and their brain is firing neurons just the same way. And, you know, when there's some kind of external stimulus, parts of their brain light up and this kind of stuff. But there's no experience. It does everything that your brain does, but there's no internal world. It's just a robot, essentially, that's just has absolutely no internal experience. It seems possible to imagine such a being. So it seems like a complete mystery to philosophers why it is that you've got all this brain stuff going on. You've got electrochemical signals firing in this mushy thing in a skull, but that could have just existed. But it comes alongside with this thing called experience, which like a table doesn't have. It's nothing it's like to be a table, but there's something it's like to be us. And that is extremely strange.
I think, how do I know that you're not that? How do I know that you're not that?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like I'm imagining that concept.
Like the Truman Show.
Be like the Truman Show, but everyone's literally a robot.
Yeah, kind of.
But there's no inner world for anyone else. It could just be you. And you're quite right. You can't know this. And so there are sort of different ways of thinking about this, right? Because some people say, well, if I imagine the philosophical zombie, I just think it would be conscious. Because if it has the same brain chemistry, then that's just what consciousness is. And it's kind of up to you to if you can imagine such a being that just doesn't have experience, you take the experiential part and just switch that off, and you leave everything else the same. If you can imagine that, then in your mind, you can separate out the concepts of consciousness and brain activity. But if you're someone who thinks, no, those are just the same thing, then you might think that like this philosophical zombie would just be conscious.